Hello students, welcome back to your class of English, and today we'll discuss the rest of the chapter, The Adventure of the Blue Carbuncle. Till now we have discussed that how the narrator and Sherlock Holmes were discussing about that mysterious hat and about the fat goose. And finally we have read that the Peterson had cooked the fat goose in his meal, and the hat was still investigated by Sherlock Holmes. As the narrator and Sherlock Holmes were discussing about that hat, and they came to know that there was an initial named as Henry Baker's. It was written on the lining of the hat. And Sherlock Holmes also identified that it would be really difficult to identify Henry Baker's, as there are thousands of bakers in the town, and moreover there are hundred of bakers at the name of H.B. Henry Bakers. But from the hat he also deducted that the hat was discolored, faded, but made of red silk, but now it is too dusty, and it gives a glimpse that the real owner of the hat really lives a very inactive life. Now let's see next what happens in the story. He showed us a beautiful blue diamond that his wife had found in the goose. Sherlock Holmes immediately recognized it as the beautiful gem that had recently been in the news. Holmes called reading about the theft. It had been stolen from the Countess of Morcar while she was staying at the Hotel Cosmopolitan. A plumber who had come in to set something right in the room had been accused of the theft. As till now we have come to know that the goose was cooked by the Peterson, and when he cooked it, his wife found a blue diamond from the goose. And then as he came to Sherlock Holmes to inform about the same, and when Sherlock Holmes came to know about this, he immediately identified that beautiful gem that was previously in the news, and lately, and these days it has been in the news. So Holmes called reading about the theft. It had been stolen from as Holmes came to know from reading that this theft has been taken place in one of the Hotel Cosmopolitan, and the gem, that blue beautiful gem, belonged to the Countess of Morcar, and accused was a plumber who just came into her room to set something right, but he was the suspected that he might have stolen that blue diamond. Here carbuncle is a type of blue diamond. The Countess was very fond of the gem and was offering £1,000 as a reward for its recovery. So as Sherlock Holmes knew about that gem and about the real owner, so we came to know that the Countess of Morcar, actually Countess is a designation, and we came to know that she was very fond of that blue gem, and she offered £1,000 as a reward who will find out that blue gem. You see, Watson, our little deductions have suddenly assumed a much more important and less innocent aspect, said Holmes thoughtfully. Now here Sherlock Holmes said to Watson, the narrator, that see how their little deductions, their little conclusions have assumed much more importance and less innocent aspect. Now, as we were thinking that as Watson in the initial level said, there's nothing, as Holmes was also thinking that this case is looking very ordinary and there is no crime related to this, but now they were discussing with each other that now their little doubts and suspects have become much more important, as they were thinking that this case is quite innocent and there is nothing like crime about that case, but now they are turning towards the crime scene, said Holmes thoughtfully. The question for us to solve now is a sequence of events leading from a rifle jewel case at one end to the crop of a goose in Tottenham Court Road at the other. So here Sherlock Holmes said that now, as they have quite assured, they were quite assured that there is something criminal behind this theft. But now the question was only to know about the sequence of events, as there was one case about the jewel case, the theft of the jewel case at the one end, and the other was that how that gem entered into the stomach of the goose. So now let's see what happened next in the story. The first step Holmes took was to place the following advertisement in the papers. So as he just wanted to know about the sequence of events, so the first thing that Holmes did was he gave an advertisement in the newspaper written, "Found at the corner of Gorge Street a goose and a black felt hat. Mr. Henry Baker can have the same by." So it was written as there was a black hat that was found at the corner of the Gorge Street, and Mr. Henry Baker can have. And as the name as the hat had an initial by the name of Henry Baker, so the Henry Baker, Mr. Henry Baker, can come and take it by at 6:30 this evening at 221 B Baker Street. Though in this advertisement, he asked Mr. Henry Baker to come and to collect his hat, and the address and the time was also mentioned. This brought Baker to Holmes, and after a little conversation, it became quite clear to us that he was innocent. As Mr. Baker, Henry Baker, reached there at the given time at the venue, and after having conversation with Mr. Baker, it became quite clear to both, to Mr. Holmes and Watson, that he was not guilty, he was innocent. So Holmes gave him a fine goose to replace the one he lost, and sent him off the very happy and contented. So Holmes, as he really wanted to replace the loss of his goose, so he just gave him one fine goose so that he could be happy and satisfied. The next step was to trace the seller of the goose. Some questioning of Mr. Baker led us to the seller, Mr. Breckenridge. The next step was to trace the seller of the goose. So the next step was now really to identify or to find out that who was the seller, who sold out the goose and to whom. So some questioning of Mr. Baker, as they had a conversation with Mr. Baker, and after asking some questions, they just came to know about Mr. Breckenridge. A little conversation with him, and we found Mr. Baker's goose for Christmas had come from a lady called Mrs. Oakeshott from Brixton Road. As they after that they came to know that the Baker's goose for Christmas, Mr. Baker's goose for Christmas was taken from a lady whose name was Mrs. Oakeshott, and she lived at Brixton Road. As Holmes and I were making plans to contact Mrs. Oakeshott, we heard a hubbub near Mr. Breckenridge. The goose seller was shaking his fist as a little rat-faced man who was winning that the goose was his. As they both, Watson and Holmes, they were both making the plan to contact to Mrs. Oakeshott, then they heard a noise and confusion near Mr. Breckenridge. So the goose seller, Mr. Breckenridge, was shaking his hand with a red-faced man, and who was just saying or crying that the goose was his. This may save us a visit to Brixton Road, whispered Holmes, and went after the man. As they just heard that man winning and claiming about the goose, at this, Holmes whispered means to say something in a low voice. Then they said, now we should save, or it could save our time, as we should follow this man so that we could get any clue. The man, it turned out, was Ryder, the hotel attendant. He was Mrs. Oakeshott's brother, She bred goose for the table for her living and had promised Ryder a fine goose for Christmas. And after just pursuing or just after chasing that man, Holmes and Watson came to know that he was Ryder. The Ryder was a man who was a hotel attendant and was just claiming that, and he just accused the plumber for committing the theft. He was Mrs. Oakeshaw's, Ryder was Mrs. Oakeshaw's brother, and so that she had just promised Ryder to give him a fine goose at the occasion of the Christmas. So Ryder, who had given evidence against the plumber, was the one who had stolen the gem. As Ryder, the hotel attendant, claimed that he saw a plumber who was setting something right in the room of the Countess of Marker, and that man must have committed that theft. But now, after pursuing that man, Holmes and Watson came to the conclusion that Ryder was a man who was actually the criminal, the thief. He went to see his sister with a gem in his pocket. He put it into the mouth of the goose. He thought that his sister had reserved for him, and to avoid being caught red-handed. As after committing that theft, after stealing that gem, he went to see his sister with the gem in his pocket. As the gem was in his pocket, then he put it into the mouth of the goose, and he really thought that his sister had reserved for him to avoid being caught red-handed, as he was really wanted to escape from the police, and he just really didn't want to get suspected. So just to save for himself, he just put that gem in the mouth of the goose, which he was thinking that his sister has just kept a reserve for him. However, he got the wrong goose, and the goose that had the gem got sold to Mr. Baker through Mr. Breckenridge. So, however, as his sister was not aware of all these things, and she just gave him the another goose, and the goose that had the gem, the goose in whose mouth was a gem, was sold to Mr. Baker through Mr. Breckenridge. In despair, Ryder tried to recover the goose from Mr. Baker by having him waylaid by hoodlums. So that Ryder afterwards just tried to recover the goose, just tried to regain that actual goose which he really wanted, as it was having a blue gem in its mouth. So Ryder just tried to recover the goose from Mr. Baker by having him waylaid. Waylaid means just to force a person to wander here and there by hoodlums, so that he would just wander here and there by losing his actual way, and that's why he just sent the looters. But as it happened, so in despair, Ryder tried to recover the goose from Mr. Baker by having him waylaid by hoodlums. But as it happened, neither did Ryder get the goose nor did he recover the gem, because Mr. Peterson came by and frightened the rogues away and brought the goose to Holmes. But as it was pre-planned, and he was just wanted to waylay Mr. Baker with the help of the hoodlums, but to the contrary, Peterson suddenly came there, and the rogues, the thieves, just ran away because of Mr. Peterson, and then Peterson finally brought that goose to Holmes. So I hope, my dear students, you have really enjoyed the story, as it is really full of mystery, and you must be curious to know that what happened next, as the way I was. So as I already knew that you must have read this chapter yourself to know the mystery of this story. So now in the next video we'll discuss about the book exercises and the question answers. Thank you.